Hello, awesome people. This is Edward Zero and Martha Arifin. Say hello to everyone, Martha.
Hello, everyone. This is Martha Arifin here.
Hey, thank you for joining us for this webinar today, tonight, or wherever you are. This is Strategies for Creating Your Awesomely Profitable and High Converting Website. Now, Martha Arifin is a good friend and trusted colleague of mine who I gladly refer a lot of websites to, don't I, Martha?
Yes. Thank you, Ed.
There you go. So, in case you haven't heard me before when you're watching this recorded content, my name's Edward Zero. I'm a marketing mentor, business commentator, and also leader in the 4 networking business community based in Sydney, Australia. I'm an ex-corporate marketing director and I love helping small business owners and entrepreneurs, albeit I do quite a bit of corporate work today as well. Now I'm here with my awesome friend Martha Arifin. It's actually about 8 o'clock at night now, isn't it? On a Monday night. And Martha Arifin's a personal and trusted friend of mine, and she runs small business websites, workshops. In fact, tell us all about you, Martha.
Yeah, my background is in design, so I work as a graphic designer in advertising agencies before, local, international, and I did a couple of years of freelancing back then as a flash designers and developers, a senior flash designers and developers. I part-time lecture at the Private Design College in Sydney, and I teach the coding bit of the website.
There you go. And we've shared the stage and everything, so it's an honour to work with her. And like a lot of our recorded content, as a marketing mentor and certified practicing marketer, it holds myself and my business to the highest ethical and personal development standards of industry. This is recorded content, and it is of general advice and education only. So if you need personal help, feel free to email or contact me. Love to support you. And of course, also contact Martha as well if you need help with your website and that sort of thing. And all the materials are developed and produced by myself and marketed by Edward Zero of Excellence Above. So that was legally painful. So I'm just glad to get right into it. Now, like a lot of the other content of mine, you've probably viewed at this point, is small business and sales and marketing is a massive area of business with all different facets, such as personal selling, blogging, sales materials, physical products, email marketing, LinkedIn. We're really focusing on online and online in this webinar. And I don't mean online in terms of all these amazing Facebook strategies, but we're more talking about the actual website, aren't we, Martha?
Yes. Website is where you drive all the traffic into.
Exactly. And it's funny, actually, Martha, a lot of people don't tend to talk websites that much. They always talk about everything but your website. Have you noticed that odd trend?
Yeah, it's all about traffic here, traffic there. At the end of the day, if you have the traffic, you haven't got a proper store, like quote unquote your store, then how are you going to promote your service or product? Precisely.
And like all things, we deliver fact, reality, profitable sales strategies, and we give you the lot without holding anything back. If you need a hand, please contact us. We'd love to help you. Like all things, watch this recording over and over again. Take it slow, one step at a time, because like all things, we love tipping people with the tip truck. We love getting the tip truck of information, dumping people in it, but it's all right, I'm just messing with you. It's not about listening to and doing everything that we say. It's about getting the ideas that really resonate with you. So take away what works for you. Now, like all things I love doing, I love going back to where it all began. And yeah, I think a bit of history tells us key lessons for the future. Now, one thing is that, and I was doing this, so we actually did a live webinar on this topic, and Martha and I were discussing this. I did a bit of research on the actual formation of the internet. And what's very, very funny is that when actually the internet came out, what we know as the World Wide Web, it actually didn't exist. There were actually hundreds of different formats of the internet in those days, weren't there, Martha?
Yes. The actual HTTP, which is a hypertext transfer protocol, didn't even exist back then, let alone the website.
Yeah, and really what's we found actually quite funny about it all is that, the World Wide Web came out in 1993, and this format actually took over and kicked a lot of other formats off the perch. So pretty much World Wide Web, and this is where web sort of comes in, what web really is an abbreviation for is a reference to the massive of networking threads which connect us all today. It's like a spider web under a microscope is thousands of, I think it's even millions, but it's thousands of threads. The web is like that. The whole internet is not one place. It's like an aggregation of all these different things connecting together. So bring it back to us as small business owners and entrepreneurs. What is a website? A website is a site that sits within the web, if that makes any form of conceptual sense. Now, I use this as an example. Now, the nerds in the audience, now Martha's not a nerd. It's fair to say that you're quite a hip, modern sort of chick. Yeah. Martha's quite a hip modern chick, and I'm a bit of an internet nerd. And for the fellow nerds in the audience that recognise what these images are from, there's an old game called XCOM Enemy Unknown. It's been voted one of the best games ever. And at the top, you see a photo from the original game. And the photo at the bottom is the remake of it, which got remade 2 years ago. It's about 15 years in between both games. And I like sort of contrasting that in terms of how things have changed. You can just see the detail and the graphics and the resolution. Now, the internet is not too different. We've seen a massive transformation in terms of, text-only websites, We're now seeing the power of high graphics, high quality, and all that type of thing. Now, talking from a small business owner, entrepreneur viewpoint, you want something that sells 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So to me, a bit like, using the images from XCOM Enemy Unknown here, where basically we're fighting aliens again. There's not many plots about humans fighting aliens. It's really about, using the latest technology you have to help sell your business on automation all the time. Now, my own perspective and use, I'm just going to quickly go through a few things. And Martha, feel free to jump in any time.
Yeah.
Then we'll hand it over to Paul Martha. Now, personally, as a marketing mentor, and this is what I like saying for a lot of people just rarely hire me. They usually spend a lot of time getting to know me over a given time frame. And quite often, before I started online marketing, Martha, people would often spend 6 to 12 months before they even consider hiring me.
Yeah.
What's your take on the whole sales cycle on that, Martha?
Yeah, putting the online marketing aside, usually the usual cycle is length is about 6 to 12 months for people to get to know you. They probably meet you at the networking events or wherever, have seen you in the workshop, wherever you are. But then it will take them 6 to 12 months to a year to then really get to know you and trust you enough to then start buying products from you. With the online marketing, if you're blogging or do social media really, really good, then you fast track everything and shorten the process to, I will probably say 2 to 3 months.
There you go. So, and that's the beauty of online marketing in this context. Now, if you're from Australia and you're hearing this, we have Westfield's shopping centres all over Australia, which are basically a massive mall/galleria concept. Now, I actually almost got a job managing one of these in the far west of Sydney some years ago before I got washed up and became a marketing mentor entrepreneur. I now make more money, so I don't care. Whoa. Now, the reality is that when you have a website, be it your own shopping centre website or whatever, imagine like a shopping centre as a metaphor. You don't just want, trash coming in. You want awesome people coming into your shopping centre. And you want them staying there for as long as possible, having a good time. Because the simple thing is, if we've got more of the right people in our shopping centre, they're more likely they're going to buy something.
That's right.
Now, a website's identical. It's not just about getting people to your website. We can get people to your website tomorrow. It's got to be the right people. And they got to end up buying something. In fact, what's your whole take on the whole Westfield analogy, Martha? Yeah,
Westfield analogy is really good when it comes to website. Like I said before, any things that you do, like marketing tactics, online or offline, you want to bring them back to your shopfront, which is online, is your website. So if you do Facebook campaign, Google AdWords, email marketing, you want to bring them back to your portal, which is your website. So you have to make sure that you're driving the right traffic, which is quality traffic, and also that your shop is actually, furnished nicely. You get the right colors of your shop, you painted it nicely, all the things are in the right place and, position it correctly.
Yeah, there you go. So some very, very, very particular sort of concepts. Now, what I want to do is spend a little bit of time talking about top strategies about getting warm traffic to your website. Now, it's not about this. Again, what I'm here to talk to you about is not about, top strategies for getting warm traffic. It's more about the actual website itself, but it's good to give it some commentary here. There's 7 main strategies that you want to go through, and feel free to stop it, go through it again, and check out the downloadable PowerPoint. The first thing is real-world website links. So what it actually is that you have your website on things like business cards, let's say articles that get written about you on your sales material and that sort of thing. People do read it, and quite often before people hire you, they might go to your website and check you out. So it's good to have it in as many real-world locations as possible. Number 2 are email marketing blasts. So, one of the key assets of any, small business owner or any company is having an email list. And it's very important because at the end of the day, you can attract people to Facebook. People can visit your website once, but once you've got their email, and let's say you're sending them emails every, 4 to 2 weeks, people will stay connected with you and they'll keep an eye on you, And it's really good from that point of view of keeping that relationship going. And I do email marketing quite frequently, usually every week, and it's been absolutely amazing. Number 3 is Facebook, LinkedIn, and social media. Now, again, we could talk about this all day, and we do. we're more talking about websites here, but for example, you can use Facebook as a great means of sending traffic to your website. And also LinkedIn is a beautiful, beautiful platform as well for sending traffic to your website and other forms of social media. What's your take on that one, Martha?
I'm big on social media. There are a couple of ways of driving traffic to your website, but when it comes to small business marketing, social media is probably number one at the top of my choice.
Precisely. It's all very good. 4 is being found on Google. So what it all comes down to is really having a presence on Google, and bring it back to your website. It's about writing your website in such a way of the right seeded content so you look really, really, really good and people find you. And, that. So, as an example, I help run the 4 networking business community. And in this case here, if you type Business Networking Sydney into Google, 4 Networking appears, because throughout the 4 Networking website, the words Business Networking Sydney is all the way through it. And that is what makes it very powerful. So it's about having that really, really good Google presence, often in the way that your site is written. 5, it's Martha here, is referral and partner marketing. So for example, if I, find a client that Martha needs, I might encourage them to visit a website, and vice versa, Martha.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Yeah, referral partner marketing is really huge in my marketing strategy and tactics too. If you get, essentially you're getting a lot of, like salespeople working for you. The way the referral partner marketing works is mutual. It's a win-win.
Exactly. And now this is more advanced. You can do webinars, seminars, events, again, whole different conversation, but a great way of bringing traffic to your website. And 7 is paid advertising. So be it on LinkedIn, Facebook, banner ads, whatever the case may be, it's great ways of bringing traffic to your website. Now, without further ado, it's time for Martha Arifin. Now I'm going to be quiet, and I want to let Martha really own the show here. So Martha, yay! All yours, Martha, go.
Yes, so we're going to talk website now. Now, we've mentioned about bringing traffic to your website. Literally, if you have no traffic, you have good quality content, good quality website, there's no point. You're going to make no money because there's no one looking at your shop. Probably no one even knows that you have a shop there around the corner. But if you have good traffic and okay content, doesn't have to be the best, you will make some money. But combination of great traffic and great content, you'll make a lot of money. And what makes a good traffic and good content is what we're going to cover next. But SEO is one of them, which is search engine optimize. If you have lots of resources, money, and human resource, you can employ someone to just work on your site's search engines optimize website. But we're not going to talk that tonight. Social media is still my number one choice to bringing in traffic. We're going to cover that a little bit later. But essentially, it's your website, which is your Westfield. Now, the purpose of Westfield is, Westfield is to create places where the whole family can enjoy spending time together. A community space, literally, to be enjoyed by everyone. It's a bit difficult now to even consider a shopping mall without, food court or a place to entertain your family, like a kids playground or cinema. Or, you can get your nails done, you can get your groceries done, all in one. And Westfield has done really good in that. It actually started out in Blacktown, that I've heard about it. Yeah, very interesting. But there are different types of website type. One is for building your brand or profile, where you actually build yourself or your company. Another one is a niche site, which is selling a product service. So all you have in your website is just selling one particular product service. We call it also landing page. There's also a site which is full of information that's more like, like Mashable.com. That's more like information hub. And a how-to website. There are hundreds of millions of other how-to websites in the internet. Now think about what website type that you have for your business or for yourself, if you're to build your brand or profile, and what is the purpose of your site. Just think of it for a minute, because you think, oh, my website is to build a profile, but eventually maybe you don't want it to do that. Maybe you want them to, as a portal to build your database. So think about the purpose of the site. Really think about that. And it all comes down to your, what we call a perfect client, your ideal client profile or your perfect audience. If someone comes to me and say, I want to build a website, one of the questions that I ask them is who would be looking at your website? Who is your target client, your ideal client, not just everyone. If someone comes to me and say, my product can be used, everyone can use my product, you will make no money from it, because it's almost impossible to target everyone. it's too broad, it's too global, right? The perfect audience would be someone who's very easy for you to, in terms of delivering your products and good services, gives you maximum profits. That would be your target audience, and obviously it's easy to deal with. So think about your ideal client profile, really nail it down to, you can have 2 or 3 different ideal clients groups, but think of it as a person. So if I were to talk to this person, who would this person be? Like I briefly mentioned before in some of my seminars and workshops, that I actually picture my friend Clint, who's also my client. He's in Melbourne. He runs an audiovisual company. He turns over X amount in a year. He's a family man with 2 kids under the age of 10. This is what he likes. He likes, cars and stuff like that. So if you were to picture your ideal client, who would there be that will make your you can speak their language really easily, and that will help you with the copyright. Now, when I said copyright, it's not the trademark, is the actual body copy of your website. And I have there on the slide is to study your worthy competitors. If you don't know where to start, is to study the worthy competitors, the keywords being worthy, so not just any competitors, because if you study the wrong one, it'll actually take you down. Look at the good in what they are doing online, the bad and the ugly that you obviously don't want to copy, but analyze their site and what you can learn from them if you're not sure where to start. Now, the next one is obviously the most important page of your website is your home page. Most often than not necessarily 100% of the time, but most often than not, your audience will end up on your home page. So your home page, this is what it is, my opinion, is what it should have. And he has proven to be quite, working quite well, is what do you do, how you do it, and the third point is, why should someone choose you and not your competitor, someone else who does similar things in your industry? Literally, your unique selling proposition from the marketing point of view is how you do it differently. So simple things, what you do, how you do it, in terms of, okay, how can I then solve your problem? How can I deliver to your needs? And then why you and not someone else? Those 3 things, you can add other things as well, but these are primary things that I would suggest to have on the homepage.
Yeah. And just really supporting what Martha's saying there and putting more of a business coachy hat on here. It's not just your website. At the end of the day, you need to be very, very clear on what your business actually stands for and why it's different. Because the reality is that people say my business is unique. And I go, what, unique like everyone else? So the reality is that we're all brought up to being told that we're unique. Not everyone can be unique. So I'm not being an old cynic, but I'm just talking reality here. So from a business point of view, you really need to think about your edge and what makes you different. And feel free to browse out other videos to really explore that question, because at the end of the day, you can have everything right, but if you don't have a clear edge of your product or service, getting sales can be difficult.
Yes. When it comes to unique selling proposition, obviously, you really have to know what you're offering. It's not just, okay, I sell this product, but what is this product? The benefits of this product, and then come from that point of view. Sometimes something that is really simple. For example, I can just like there are hundreds of other web designers in my area. But what makes me unique is that I happen to be designers in my old, professions, I suppose. I've dealt with a lot of designs, so I can build a website that looks not only just good, but also functional, because I can, deal with both ends. And I'm fortunate to have worked with different business owners across the years that I know a little bit of marketing and online marketing as well. So I suppose that's my unique selling proposition, but it can also, something that is quite simple could be your unique selling proposition, just to put it out there. There's the next thing that you need to have in order to build a profitable website is to build authority, is to build trust and place yourself in the authority place in your industry, in your niche area. If you're a solopreneur, put your profile, your about me page out there. Put your, you can have video if you're comfortable doing it, staying in front of the camera. Or, definitely a picture of yourself with your bio and, your client list is another one. You can have it separate on a separate page, but client list is another one. If you're a bigger company, you can have the picture of your team members, or, picture of your factory, if it's a factory. Client list, portfolio of works, awards, or any charity community work that you've done, any charity or associations that you're a part of. members of a certain industry associations could be very, very good as well. And to show it with proofs. So if you've done, for example, speaking engagement, if you've been in, like large stage, you show them with photos, with pictures and videos, because then you show them with proof. So pictures actually tells you a lot of stories. So when you say all these things, back them up with pictures or videos. Better. Talking about proof, different people make decisions differently. I'm sort of a person where I don't need social proof if I know this is the right product service for me, because I know, social proof that you put out there, it's going to be, it's always going to be good. But certain person are very much driven with third-party proof, and it's actually very huge when making a decision in buying your product services. Testimonials is an easy way to do it. Reviews is another type, but testimonials is really, really good. You get written testimonials, or could be video testimonials. If you have written testimonials, make sure that you have their names as well, not just the initials, because it doesn't really say anything if it's just initials. And if you can get the approval to then also put in the business name, it will be also very good. If you want to link it back to your business address, their business URL, website address, it's really up to you. But really, really, something that will show that, hey, this is a social proof. Video, if you're out and about with your client, get the video using your smartphone nowadays is good enough. 30, 45 seconds, not too long. Just, how you have helped them. So if you have trouble finding testimonials, just when you're with your client, ask them right there. So just don't wait for them. What are your thoughts on that, Ed?
Yeah, and Martha actually made a really good point about this in our webinar. Please don't, and I'm not saying anyone listening to this would, but what can happen is at times people just write their own testimonials and ask their clients to look them over and approve it. Look, sometimes that does happen because you'll ask a client for a testimonial and they just won't do it. Please try and avoid that though, because the idea of a good testimonial is that it's authentic and it gives their perspective, because the reality is all of us think a certain way. The whole point of a testimonial is to get a different point of view that helps people make a buying decision and choose our services over someone else's.
Totally, thank you. Now, at the end of the day, this is what you want to have, like in Westfield. So you want your audience to have a full rounded experience. Now, what do I mean by that? Is if you have the resource, when you're starting out, it's a bit difficult to try to incorporate them all, but this is the ultimate goal, is to provide a full rounded experience. So use all you have, but focus on what you do best. So, and the easiest for you. So for example, Facebook marketing is one of them. Email marketing is another one, and paid advertising, your Google AdWords. And if you're talking online, you can like one-on-one seminars, workshops, business networking, and so on and so forth. But start with one. And then once you come to the point where you can say, okay, I'm actually generating profits from this platform, then you can automate that and then start with the second one. So if you're doing Facebook marketing, paid advertising, for example, on Facebook, you want to make sure that you come to the point where you say, okay, this is actually paying itself off and much more, and I'm getting clients out of it. Then you can automate the whole process. Either you do it yourself, getting Facebook automation happening, or you get someone else to do it for you. The best way to do it is to get a personal, like an assistant, a virtual assistant, if you're a small business owner, or you get someone else to do it for you in your company. Then you can leave it there, make sure it's actually running and tweak it, and then get to the second one, be it email marketing or whatever that is. But, always test it and make sure it's actually trackable. Use the data-driven analysis to make sure it's working before you jump to the next one. But at the end of the day, you want to create a full rounded experience. So if someone comes to your website from your YouTube videos, they first see your YouTube videos, they go to your website. If someone get to you from your email newsletter forwarded by a colleague of a friend, they first come to your email newsletter, they read your emails and then go to your website. Or someone meets you at a networking event, they see your business card and then go to your website. Or someone attended your, like free speaking engagement at a workshop, they, look at your flyers, go to your website. You want to make sure you have a full rounded experience and it is consistent. So I'm not talking about branding for now, but make sure that it is consistent, that the message you're getting across is consistent, is the same, so it doesn't confuse user, because confused audience would not buy. And probably last but not least is always connect with them. different ways of connecting with them. On your website, the best and easiest way to do is to create what we call an opt-in box, which is the way of asking people for their name and email address, or you can just ask for their email address if it suits your purpose. And this way you can keep in touch with them, because you don't necessarily see them again. It's like someone coming to your shop, like your physical store, and not being greeted, and there's no way to connect with them, because 70%, if not more, people, actually, it's not 70%, it's actually 97% of people who comes to your website, they probably are not ready to buy. When I say buy, not necessarily buy product services, but, you know, like whatever the next step you want them to take, they probably not necessarily are ready to do that now. But if you don't put them in your mailing list or your social media group, then there's no way of you connecting with them again. So this is just one way of doing it. And these are just some of the ideas that you can think through. Again, you don't have to use all of them. Just think about what's the easiest for you to do right now, and it's actually sustainable for you. So if you say, oh, I want to do email newsletter once a week, it's actually sustainable for you. Videos, Google Analytics, probably number one on top of my list. If you're to have a website, is to make sure you do have analytics so you can then tweak it. It's basically statistics of your website. So then your marketing person or yourself can then make informed decision on how to take your website to the next level. Domain name, just a great domain name. Ideal domain name actually tells you what you do. Reliable web host, especially if you're selling online and really can't afford to have a downtime. Reliable web host, and obviously money to invest, because at the end of the day, your website is your business online. Most of the times it's the first time that people look you up on the internet before they actually meet you. And obviously someone who's invested in delivering your needs and your success, be it your web designer or yourself or your team of professionals. So that's it for me, I believe. Is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think it's very important to, with your website, and really going on what Martha's saying here, is that building a website is definitely, part of it is science in terms of the code and the function, but a lot of it is a complete and total art form. So I think it's very important to think about the context of your business. Are you more product driven? Are you more service driven? And really putting some thought into what's going to work and what's not. And also as well, you've got Google Analytics as well, which, Google Analytics can tell you what's going on your website, what traffic's coming your way, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah. So there you go. And these are some of my closing remarks on Martha. And again, I usually dominate Martha in conversations. So I'd love to let her really steal the stage this time. But these are my closing remarks sort of based on what Martha is saying. Think through all the different online strategies you wish to pursue. There's heaps of different online strategies. I teach quite a few of them. Feel free to watch our videos for other ones. But you might know some yourself, and it's very good to test and measure and work out what suits you. Work out what works well and fits in the logic of your website. Like when we actually did the live webinar on this topic, what was very interesting is that one person was working out how does, let's say, my social media fit in with my website. Good example is that you can put content on Facebook and you can have a plugin so that content streams live on your, on your website, So in other words, whatever your latest posts are on Facebook, it'll show up on your website. So there's very good, techniques for doing that. If you don't have a good website, get one. If it doesn't quite cut it, get a good website. And the thing is done properly. And I've spent quite a lot on my website. I've actually spent $12,000 on mine. You don't have to spend that much, but I took it to the quite extreme. You will get your money back if you've done it properly and everything is commercially working. 5, if you want to charge quality pricing, you need a quality image. And 6, you need really good online automation. And of course, speak to Martha or I if we can help you. And like all things in the videos I do, you only need to take one great idea and really go for it tomorrow. They can make a massive difference, because awesome results come from your forced awesome action. And thank you from Edward, Zara, and Martha. It's a pleasure having you here.
Yes.
Now, my email address is edward@excellenceabove.com.au. We've got Martha's here as well. So feel free to contact us if we can support you, and we're right behind you. Any thoughts, Martha?
Just thank you everyone for having us here this evening or morning, wherever you are.
Exactly. It's actually now 20 to 9 as we finish this webinar at night, and we're beat. But we are so grateful that you've joined us. And from Edward here and myself, have a good night or a good day.